Something I learned quite early on is that any dish can go from the mundane to the amazing with the addition of a really lovely sauce or dressing. I always have dressings in the fridge in jars, be they green dressings or just vinaigrettes, or maybe something like a Thai peanut dressing. It always helps having something ready, or maybe when you do prep a dressing, making more than you need to have it ready for later in the week. They last quite long in the fridge, maybe a week or two, and if it's really oil-based, even longer than that. This one is the dressing for our stir fry. It's really easy, very Moorish, and you can make quite a bit. It'll last you weeks and weeks in the fridge. I've already added a little bit of sweet chili sauce to the jar. I make all my dressings in jars because it's super easy then just to screw on the lid and give it a shake and you're ready to go. Now, I used the reduced sugar one because I don't want to add that much sugar, but it is a nice combination and it does add a little bit of viscosity to the dressing, which is nice. Next, we're going to add equal amounts of toasted sesame oil, which is different from the untoasted one, which has a very neutral taste. And then we're also going to add a little bit of soy sauce or tamari if you're gluten-free. This one is a really nice tamari I'm going to use. Now, because we're adding tamari or soy, which is really salty, you don't have to add any salt to this dressing. However, when you do end up dressing your stir fry and you taste it and you feel like it needs a bit of salt or something, obviously you will add some. Now you can't really see it yet, but when we give it a shake, it's roughly the same quantities. Next, we're going to add our spices. I've got some ground ginger, some chili flakes, and some garlic granules. You could have also used dried ground garlic. The amount of the chili flakes depends on your personal preference. Now let's have a look. I'm gonna just screw on the lid, give it a good shake. And then that's ready to go, as easy as that. A lovely dish that will get you practicing your knife skills, is really healthy with all the added vegetables and actually quite easy to make, is stir fry. So I'm going to show you today in a very short amount of time how you can do that. I have pre-prepped the veggies only because it would be a little bit dull watching me chop all of them. But just to show you, we've done spring onions on the diagonal, we've done pepper sticks, courgette sticks, the de-stringed sugar snaps, and some carrot sticks. I'm heating a little bit of oil in a wok. You don't need to use a wok, you can just use your big frying pan that you have, the stainless steel one. Either use olive oil or maybe untoasted neutral sesame oil, or if you want to use some good sunflower oil, that's fine too. Any good frying oil would work. Now with the stir fry, the important bit is to start with the food, the ingredient that's going to take the longest to cook. So I'm going to add my carrots to begin with. And I'm not going to throw them in. I don't want the oil to splatter. I'm just going to slide them in and then give them a good stir. Now the trick with a stir fry is to stir, otherwise your food will burn. You want it on a relatively high heat because you do want to fry it rather than steam it, which will happen if your temperature is too low. But if you don't stir it, your bottom carrots will burn and the top ones will still be raw. So we're going to give it a good toss and continue to stir. The carrots need about a minute or two to go from orange to golden yellow and a little bit brown. And then you can add your next ingredient. In our case, this will be the spring onion, which we want nice and soft by the time we eat our stir fry. The nice thing about a stir fry is that you can really add whichever ingredient you like, and you can add more of the things you love, less of the things you don't. I often do a combination of whatever vegetables I have in the fridge. Right, I think most of them have started cooking, so I'm going to add the spring onions in one go. This is almost a whole bunch of spring onions. It seems like quite a lot, but spring onions are a bit milder than regular onions. And in this case, I'm using them as a vegetable rather than as an onion. Right, let's give that another stir. It looks lovely already, doesn't it? Really delicious. The other trick to remember with the stir fry is that you don't really want your vegetables very soft. I think the really attractive thing about them is that vegetables are still often quite crunchy and fresh. There you go. Let's add, as our next step, the peppers. I find making stir fries quite sociable as well, because I often get whoever's in the kitchen to help me with the chopping, which makes it all go a lot quicker, and it gives you time to connect with whoever you're in a house with, whether it's flatmates or family members, and it's a really fun thing to do together. Right, next up are the courgette sticks. I don't know about you, but I am not a huge fan of mushy, soft cooked courgette. I really like them barely cooked, quite crunchy still, and that's perfect for a stir fry. Right, let me talk to you a little bit about cooking appliances. So, you know your basic equipment you need for the kitchen. In terms of cooking appliances or utensils, I think if you can buy a really good largish stainless steel frying pan and a good saucepan with a heavy base, also I would say medium large, then you can make most things. If you then want to add another couple of items, a smaller pan and a smaller saucepan would be great, because then you can use those when you're making smaller quantities. But in general, a stainless steel pan and a stainless steel saucepan is really all you need. This looks good. We're going to add our sugar snap peas. Now, these only really need 30 seconds until they go from this color green to bright green. And then your stir fry is done. We're going to add some cooked noodles. We're going to add whatever protein we would like. In this case, I'm not going to add any today, but you could add something like roast nuts. Cashews especially are very good, or peanuts. You can add some fried chicken or chicken pieces, leftover roast chicken. You can add some really nice roast salmon. Prawns are very good in stir fry. Tofu is really lovely. All of those are good options to add. Right, now we're going to add our cooked noodles. This I just did separately in a small saucepan beforehand. If you are short on time, you can buy pre-cooked noodles from the supermarket, but it's just as easy to cook them yourself. It takes about 2 minutes. So you would have your pan going with the stir fry, your saucepan with the noodles, and you're good to go. These are rice noodles. Egg noodles would work really well. I'm just going to give that a bit of a stir. And then the last thing we're going to do is add the dressing, and then we're going to just pour that over. So there's the dressing. Because it has the ground ginger in it, it does benefit from just being briefly heated a little bit. Yum. My noodles are stuck together because I cooked them a little bit in advance. But there you have it. I'm going to leave it like that for you to have a look. And then you can add the protein of your choice, and that would serve 3 to 4 people, I think, and is very easy and easy to clean up as well, only chopping and a bit of frying. I hope you enjoy it.